Hey everyone, it's Iman, and today I'm here to talk about the Marvels movie. Um, it's pretty mid. I would say it's pretty bad actually. I didn't enjoy it that much. It wasn't like I don't want to say it was like horrible, but it was certainly pretty boring. The pacing of the movie was pretty dog shit. Now obviously there were rumors that there were scenes cut out of the movie, but if I'm being real with you, I don't really think any cutscene would have saved like whatever we saw. I think it was I don't know. It was pretty miserable at times. That the plot was pretty dog shit. Like it was like basically the villain uses her powers to like take shit from different planets. And there's one part, a little spoiler, but it's in the trailer where they go to this musical planet and they gotta like protect them and shit. They don't do that. They get railed. Actually, they get their asses clapped, and they just kind of leave the guy, which is kind of weird. I mean, that whole sequence feels like it feels silly, and it's like it doesn't give closure to what even happened there. So I feel like something definitely went wrong with that sequence, because the next scene right after after they bailed on the prince guy is they're just at this random like wheat field in the middle of nowhere, and they just kind of talk to each other. Like they talk it like they have like internal conflicts between each other, like kind of, and they use that part to like talk it out. It's like a 5 minute scene at best, and they're just like, oh, and then one character is just like, oh, I'm sorry, I just felt guilty for the things I've done, and then the other one's like, okay, well, I get it now, I forgive you. I feel like it was just very like, I don't know, like I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of effort in that whole sequence, and then like very shortly after they just know where the bad guy is, um, and they can go stop the bad guy. So, like, the movie's pacing is ridiculously bad. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and some scenes feel very out of place. There's one also earlier with, so in the movie they really go into how, like, their powers are like entangled and they keep swapping places. It's part of the trailer, and there's one scene, is minor spoilers, where they swap places when Captain Marvel's fighting on like the enemy ship, and it's supposed to be pretty far away, or like at least a pretty like it's an unknown place with a good distance, at least we assume, because it's like an alien spaceship, right? But like it took Captain Marvel like, I don't know, less than a minute to like arrive and like protect them somehow, as if she can really get there in that speed. Obviously, it could be possible, but it just feels kind of weird. Like the whole, like the continuation of that sequence is snap, change place. Oh shit, we're in a bad guy ship. What do we do? We're about to get our asses clapped, and boom, she just shows up. Like, okay, I guess that was quick. We could have totally used that help during Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, but okay, I guess she just powered up on the spot. Um, the villain is pretty mid. I feel like the villain is pretty like very generic. It's like the whole, oh, you took everything from me, so I'm gonna do the same now. It's, I mean, it's nothing special. We've seen that like a billion times already. But this movie does it pretty poorly, because I feel like even though you can have empathy for the villain, we don't really know the villain like too well, and I guess personally for me, I didn't really care too much. And one of the ways that they could have fixed an issue, like an issue that made the villain, they could have done that like ages ago. I feel like, but because they didn't talk to each other about it and they didn't know, they couldn't think of how to solve the issue. So it wasn't until like the very end where one character's like, "Wait, you have enough power to go do that. They're like, oh shit, yeah, that sounds good. And then so like I feel like we could have solved the issues with the villain within like maybe half an hour if maybe we could just talk it out or something. But no, it was like almost 2 hours of just nothingness. Another thing that they do pretty well in this movie, I'd say, is running away. As I said earlier, they completely bailed on the prince. They also kind of did that earlier with it's part of the trailer, but one of these Skrull homeland colonies is getting blasted, and they couldn't save everyone. and Captain Marvel's just like, yeah, we save who we can save, and then they just like they pack up on the ship and they dip. So yeah, they doing a little bit of running away, I guess. I don't know. And also the conclusion to the villain is absolutely stinky as shit. It is the most generic, effortless shit I've ever seen in my entire life. It's that generic shit where it's like, don't do this. You're harnessing power you cannot wield. And like the villain obviously gets defeated, and it's like, okay, sure, we've seen that so many times, and it wasn't anything special either. I feel like it's pretty meh, and yeah, I mean, I feel like it was kind of bad in general. Another issue I could see with the film, this isn't really the film itself, but it's like, we have Photon, like the new character, and Miss Marvel. They're both from TV series, so I don't know how much of the TV series generally people watch, but I feel like for like this film cannot really be watched by like a new person because you don't understand who the fuck is who and what the fuck is going on. It doesn't make any sense. You'd feel very out of place. I will say one of my favorite parts of this movie is Miss Marvel and like Kamala Khan's family. I think they're pretty good. I mean, it's wholesome. It's comedic. I don't feel like it's forced. Like it genuinely feels like a family dynamic. So I think that part's nice. Other than that, everything was pretty fucking like miserable to sit through. Obviously, not gonna get too much into spoilers, but I did hear that it was in the trailer. So if you're sensitive to that, maybe just don't listen too much. But one of the post-credit scenes does include other characters from the Marvel universe, but that are not belonging to the MCU. So there's probably some like a Fox character there or something. That was cool. I don't really know what they're gonna do with that. I'm not too sure. It does hype it up for like a multiversal kind of thing, but I don't know. I feel like they kind of use this to pique interest to the audience, which clearly isn't working because I did see reports that this movie absolutely opened to like no money. Now obviously money isn't everything for like a movie's like how good a movie is, but the reviews are pretty mid too, and generally I feel like the reception's pretty bad. So yeah, I don't know. I think another scene that was pretty hype was when Miss Marvel meets another young superhero we've seen. Again, she's from a TV show, so if you haven't seen it, you probably won't know who she is. So yeah, it's a mess. It's quite a mess, and yeah, it was pretty mid. If I will give it a compliment, I'll say like the fight scenes were fine. I think the fight scenes weren't terrible. They weren't great or anything, but like it wasn't bad. It was like decent at best. So yeah, I mean the CGI. I don't really have too many problems with the CGI. It didn't look terrible. I mean it was okay, but the movie in general was not okay. So yeah, I think this movie right now is one of the lowest rated MCU movies alongside Eternals, which if you've come to my streams before, I've made very clear why I do not like that movie. I think it's absolutely like the most boring shit of all time. Ant-Man and Thor: Love and Thunder, and honestly, I don't even know how to feel because I think so. Like these characters have a lot of potential. The movies have a lot of potential, but we're just missing. We're just missing. Like hit or miss. We're fucking missing. We ain't doing anything right. Which is, it's sad. It's unfortunate to see the state of the MCU after like I've been able to enjoy it so much like a few years ago. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't think I made a video on this, but a movie from the MCU that I did enjoy was Guardians. So, not all hope is lost just yet. I'm pretty hyped for Deadpool, but you know, I know like we ain't doing too good so far, Marvel fans. We gotta watch out. This boat is sinking, slowly but surely. It is sinking. But yeah, that's all I really want to say. Yeah, so yeah.